What's up, guys? It's Chris from Pursuit of Possibility. Welcome to my channel. It's on a mission to shape a world with less mental suffering, full of people who are experiencing the joy of living fully and living powerfully. If that's a mission that you're on board with, subscribe on and let's get growing. Today, we're going to talk about the art of listening. First, we're going to talk about two types of listening that are really common but aren't really helpful and typically can lead to arguments. And then we're going to talk about a third type of listening, a much more powerful form of listening that can produce breakthroughs and transform you into the leader that you were destined to become. Are you guys ready to dive in? The first form of listening is listening from a place of I agree with what you're saying, and the second form of listening is listening from a place of I disagree with what you're saying. Listening from these two places is problematic because it's limited by your past experience and what you already know. It makes the assumption that my beliefs, my opinions, my viewpoint is right. There's no wiggle room for new discovery and new growth. If something someone else says isn't in line with our stance, we automatically make them wrong. We shut down, we turn away, we close off, and the need to defend our viewpoint leads to arguments. When leaders at companies listen this way, their companies go out of business. When you listen this way in relationships, those relationships end. Even now, notice how that voice in your head is saying, I agree with what Chris is saying, or I disagree with what he's saying. It's automatic. It comes from the subconscious brain. What if no one's actually wrong, and we're just shaped by our conditioning and our life experiences that developed our operating model? What if there was a third way of listening? That third way of listening is much more powerful, and it's listening from a place of being with. Not just physically being with someone, but being fully present in the conversation. It's about being willing to step outside your viewpoint to try on another perspective. It's a willingness to risk being wrong in the case that someone has a perspective that could better serve you. There are three aspects to listening from a place of being with. One is being here now, being fully present and in the conversation. The second aspect is noticing your reaction. When someone shares a viewpoint that you disagree with, what are the thoughts that pop up? How do you feel emotionally? What's your response? Do you have a physical response? And finally, ask why. Ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? And ask the other person, why do you think this? How did you come to this viewpoint? This is the type of communication that leads to breakthroughs. This is the type of communication that leads to understanding and conflict resolution. Imagine if we listen this way in politics. How much progress would we make?
Like Donald Trump,
This is what being a committed listener looks like. Ask yourself this question. Is your belief worth holding on to? Would you rather have your relationships work, or would you rather be right? Are you willing to risk the cost of actually being wrong in the case that someone else is actually right? What if a new perspective might serve you better? Finally, this is subtle but powerful. Risk being wrong about your limiting beliefs towards yourself. How many of your ideas have just died as an idea because you didn't take action? Trust yourself. And what if we listen to ourselves more? Like, more specifically, what if we listen to our intuition more? When we had that bold, big idea, what if we took action and saw it through? What type of breakthrough would that produce for us? And in general, if we started listening from a place of being with others, what breakthroughs would we experience in our relationships, at work, and what would our life look like over time if we practice this consistently? I hope this video has been helpful. I hope the video got you thinking differently. Please share your experience if you do try out this type of listening, and share your perspective, because a lot of times you guys think of things that I didn't even think of, and leave awesome comments for this community. I love you guys, and we'll talk next week. Cheers.